Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 23 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Just logging in today and I have an idea for a neat little machine I'd like to get building. It's going to require a lot of work and it's going to require a lot of effort, but I think in the end it'll be pretty cool. I'm at least hoping it'll be cool. So how about I get started pretty quickly here working on what I need to do, because this will probably take at least this whole episode. And we're probably going to put the bees and everything else on hold for a few minutes while I work on this machine. So I'll be back pretty soon once I have all the components of everything I need to get going. Alright guys, so I'm hanging out up here with my blue trick alloy furnace and I'm combining some copper and some tin. And if memory serves correctly, for every 3 copper and 1 tin that I give it, and I gave it a little bit of a difference, but that's fine. I'll get some brass ingots, exactly what I need. I'm going to let the rest of those cook up. And then head down here, and if I grab a few sticks, yeah, it should be enough right there, 8, I think it is, and place some sticks all the way around one of these brass ingots, I get a support frame. Oh, it's time to build stuff with frames. Yes, that's right. I've been itching to get going on this thing. So I have a neat idea for one of my first frame machines, hopefully the first of many. For this, I'm going to have to get a bunch of frames, so what better time to create an auto crafting recipe. So now it knows how to do sticks already, and I've taught it brass, so now I can get some frames going. Woot! And I'm going to jump up here and get the rest of my brass. Cool. I'm going to need a good amount of it, so I'm probably going to throw another bunch into this thing here. Let's get another stack or so of you, and I don't know, that sounds good. I have no idea. Just throw a bunch in there and hopefully get a bunch of, no, not battery box. There we go. Just a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to request a bunch of frames in a moment here, but before I do that, I want to make sure my inventory is pretty much as clean as possible. Throw some brass ingots in here so they have a route to travel to. I'm also going to need what's called a frame motor. So if we look up the recipe on that guy, you can see it's kind of complicated. I'm going to need some more of these brass ingots and a bunch of iron. I'm also going to need a blue alloy ingot. And then I need this blue electric motor, which is another blue alloy ingot and some iron, with copper coils. And copper coils, yet again a complicated recipe, requiring fine copper wire. And finally, the fine copper wire requires a diamond draw plate and a copper ingot. The diamond draw plate needs some iron panel strips and some diamond paneling. Oh my goodness, that's an expensive recipe. Let's see if I have what I need to get a diamond panel here. I do. And I've also got what I need to get an iron panel, or at least close to it. So if I grab my diamond handsaw and put these guys like so, I've got a block of diamond. But I'm going to slice that guy up into diamond slabs and diamond panels. Cool. And you can see those are usable to create my diamond draw plate. I'm only going to need one of them. And then I'm going to need to get myself an iron block. Pretty expensive recipe, these items, but what are you going to do, right? So get some iron panels, and those I can craft into iron panel strips by putting the iron panel to the right side of the diamond handsaw. Cool. Now if I combine my diamond panel with my iron panel strips, I should get my diamond draw plate. Now this guy is just like the handsaw, where I get to use him a bunch of times. And the other cool thing about this is I think if I place my diamond panels in here, I get back some of my diamonds. So I just got back 6 of the diamonds. Not 100% back that you would get. Should have gotten back 9, but if I had put all 4 diamond panels in there, I would have only gotten back 8. But that's the cost of doing business. And my iron strip panels, well, I'll throw them in there for now, along with my diamond handsaw. But I don't know, we'll see if I need that. Now, this guy combined with a copper ingot will get me some of that fine copper wiring, as you can see. And fine copper wiring, I'm going to need, let's see, what do we need? 4 of them? Yeah, 4 from my copper coil, and I need 2 copper coils, so I'm going to need 8. So let's get ourselves 8 of these guys. Fine copper wire. See? And it used some of the diamond draw plate, but not a lot of it, so that thing's going to last me a good long time. And then I'm going to need some iron bars. Probably maybe a dozen. Sure, why not? That should be plenty. Now, my fine copper wire here goes like this around an iron ingot. So I need a few more iron ingots. Just make sure I have a good handful on me. Let's get 2 of them. There we go. 2 copper coils. Cool. And remember, I need a blue alloy ingot. You guys remember how to make those from our previous episodes. Why don't I just make about, I don't know, 16 of them. And then I can make myself a full stack of nickelite to throw into my blue trick furnace, which is dutifully doing its job. There we go, a stack of copper, or brass, that's good. And I'll be back probably, well no, in a few minutes I'm going to have this thing pretty quick. Let's get at least 2 of them. There we go. And I can craft up with this guy and some iron and a couple copper coils, get my blue trick motor. And then I'm going to need to get a frame motor, a couple of those brass ingots, the blue trick motor in the middle, and some iron all around. That'll work. Frame motor. Cool. So that's my first of 4 frame motors that I'm going to need for this build. It might be doable with something a little less, but we'll see. And I'll be back once I've crafted a few more frame motors. Alright, the next item I want to make is called a thermopile. It's one of the other ways to create electricity in Red Power 2. The thermopile is going to use a temperature differential between 2 blocks, either hot and cold or hot and very cold, something like that. I'm going to go with lava and water, and that'll create a pretty good generation of electricity. I'm going to go with 2 of these guys, I think. So let's craft up 2 thermopiles. So something along these lines. The recipe here, as you can see, I need copper in the corners, and iron, and blue alloy ingots. Gets me 2 thermopiles. Cool. And the thermopiles are going to have to store their energy somewhere, so I'm going to create another one of these bat boxes, which you guys saw me already craft in another episode. So I'm going to hold off on showing that, but just rest assured that I'll be crafting this in just a minute here. There we go, got myself a battery box and 2 extra batteries. Shouldn't be a big deal, but I want to charge up my batteries and bring them with me. So if I place a battery in the top slot here, it's going to quickly fill up. Cool. And then of course my solar panels will fill up this battery box back to the way it should be. So I've got a way to generate my own electricity, a little temporary electricity to give myself a boost, some frame motors, and a battery box. Let's head downstairs and request a few frames. I'm thinking, I have no idea how many I'll need for this. Let's just go with a nice round number, half a stack. How's that sound? So if I switch it to the crafting mode, I'm going to bump this up to 32. Request, missing 13 wood. Cool. I'm probably going to need some more wood. So I'm going to go chop down some trees and be back. And before you guys have too many concerns about my auto crafting system, yes, I know it's only aware of jungle wood at the moment. I'll bump that up and handle that in a different way in the future. Probably once I get one of my tree farms going, especially with forestry, then I'll be able to, you know, go with the old kind of wood, the maple wood. And here comes a lot of wood. Ha ha ha. I'll be able to, you know, deal with that stuff a little better in the future. Probably just only worry about maple wood once I get a tree farm from forestry going. So let's go place this stuff where it belongs. Fancy blocks. And try that crafting thing again. Swinging down here. And let's request. Okay, so try that one more time. 32, please. Request successful. And away it all goes. Just a fun thing to watch. And out should come many support frames. And I also, off camera, crafted up some stone covers, which will be used to help out with my frames build here. And then I just combined a few pieces of string to get myself a little bit more wool. I want to get myself, just make sure I have enough blue alloy wiring. Cool. And then finally, I'm coming downstairs into my mining area to grab 2 buckets of lava. I'm going to need this stuff in just a minute. So what could Direwolf be up to in his Thaumcraft room with the frame machine in mind? Well, I've got my Thaumic here, and I want to craft myself a Thaumic Enchanter. And it occurs to me I have this awesome room right here where a Thaumic Enchanter would fit perfectly right in this block. However, there's one minor problem. The Q block is there. So, what if I built a frame machine that allowed me to swap my Q block with my Thaumic Enchanter on demand? How neat would that be? So, that's what I'm going to do. First off, then, I guess I need a Thaumic Enchanter. I'm going to need a Vs conduit, and an extract of purest magic, and an enchantment table. How do you make an enchantment table? I don't think I've ever crafted one. Oh, okay, there you go. Just 2 diamonds and a book. I've got plenty of books and some obsidian. I can handle that. So how about off camera, I'll go craft up one of those guys. And then, come back, get ready to do this. And while I'm back in my main room crafting things, I happen to know I'm going to need some glass bottles, and I'm probably going to need to fill them up with water. But that's alright. I can get them in my infinite water source back in my main Thaumcraft area. There we go. And I'll store the extra ones in here. And if I combine one of my Vs conduits, I'm going to need some of that. I'm also going to need one of these and a Vs crystal. I'm probably going to have to store some stuff here temporarily just to get it out of my way. So a regular old Vs crystal. And if I put in my Thaumic infuser here, a Vs crystal, a shimmer leaf, and a water bottle. Ooh, there we go. Man, this is a long recipe. It actually requires 250 Vs, so a pretty expensive item here that I'm making. But you can see all the Vs getting drained out of here. I should probably start sucking some more Vs out of the atmosphere. What do we got a lot of here? Could throw a couple earthen crystals in there. How about 3 of them? Sure. Vs condenser, do your thing. How do we make out? Hey, extract of purest magic. And if I combine that with the enchantment table and the Vs conduit, as the little recipe thing in the Thaumic told me, I get my Thaumic Enchanter. Awesome. This thing is really pretty cool. Throw my Thaumic in here, and who knows what else I'll need. I want to go sleep through the night, get rid of all these spiders and whatnot. Okay, well I could use a few more brains and jars in this room, but that's okay. I'm going to start digging down, and I'm going to need to dig a pretty decent depth here. Hopefully I can find a nice spot to hang out. This looks pretty deep enough, so let's clear out a good amount of space underneath here, and I'll be back when I'm ready to start working on a few things. Okay, so step 1 complete. Dug out a nice little area underneath my brain research Q block room. Looking good so far. And there's my Q block right above me. And right underneath that, I'm going to place a frame. I'm going to clear out some of the side blocks around it as well for now. Ta-da! Frame goes right there. And I'm also going to place one here and here, which is going to place one right underneath that last brain block right there. And don't worry, I have a purpose for all this. But beyond that, I want to go down a couple blocks, like to about here. That looks good. And from here, I want to clear out some space. Remember, guys, don't dig straight down all the time. Not a good thing to do. Alright, that looks cool. And I want to place some of these covers on here. Now, as those of you who followed along with all my videos probably know, frames are this awesome item in Red Power 2, which can move any other block, including frames itself. Almost any other block. There's a couple that seem to be a little bit buggy, but since they're the first release, I think they do pretty well. They're amazing. You can use them for so much. It's crazy. And here's a good example of what you can do them for. Now, the thing about frames is you have to build them yourself, which is a lot of fun. So I've got this little machine right now, which should hopefully do the following. It should be able to move this Q block up and down. The only thing I need to do beyond that is place down what's called a frame motor. And I think I want one more frame down here before I cover this thing up. There we go. And a few more of these. One. Might need a few more covers. Oh well, that's fine. Not worried. There we go. So far, so good. Earned myself an apple. Now, next I need some frame motors, like I said. I think I'm going to place one right about here. So if I were to place a block like this, you might not be able to see this, so how about I put it here for now. The arrow face that we're concerned with is the face that's going to move any frames that it's attached to. And I need my screwdriver. I forgot that. Better go get it. Okay, there we go. Screwdriver. So if I were to right-click on this block, it would change the direction of the frames that get moved. So right now I've got it set up so that whatever block, whatever frame block is touching this motor is going to be moved down. And if it's this way, the frame would be moved in that direction. If I want to change the face that this is on, just hold Shift and right-click, and it'll change the face that has the arrow on it. So you can see it's just rotating that all around. But I do, in fact, want the arrow on this side, and I'm going to move this guy, actually leave this here, and have the face block something like this. And that should have the frame motor facing these frames. And it should be facing down, just because that's the way it works by default. And if we want to test this, we can, but we're going to need some blue trick power, which is where that bat box comes in. Frames do need some electricity to run, so we might as well hook that piece up to this. Let me figure out exactly where I might want to put this battery box. I think right through here might be a good spot. Let's place our battery box like this. Hopefully that's not too close. Maybe back one. Put our battery box maybe back here, just to be extra safe. And I'm going to run a blue trick cable, blue alloy cabling, right for now. Run it back along this wall. Cool. Now remember I said I brought some batteries with me to help kickstart this. So I'm going to start discharging them into the battery box. Very nice. And I should also, while that's going, work on some of the power gen that I want to get. And the best way to generate power when you don't have a direct line of sight to the sky is to use these thermopiles. There we go, all tidied up. A thermopile, I'm going to place one right here, just works with a power temperature differential. And let's see what that is all about. I'm going to place probably some blocks around here. If I were to place a lava bucket like so, how do I want to let this out? Alright guys, so the way I want to do this here is grab my lava bucket. I'm going to place a bucket of lava right there. And that creates the heat for my temperature differential, and did not mean to do that, but luckily I didn't fall on the lava. And then I'm going to zip up here and grab myself some water. Might as well make an infinite water source while I'm going to be down there for a few minutes. So 1 and 2 will get me the water I need for an infinite source. And I should probably have created a ladder or something, but that's alright, no biggie. Perfect. And your most efficient thermopile is going to want 1 lava source block and 4 water source blocks. And the way I'm going to do that is to put a water source block underneath and then a little block right there. So now there's a water source block underneath and 1 on the side. And 2, 4. Nice. Then what I want to do is place down another thermopile right over here. So get my thermopile ready. There we go. That guy's going to cook up some good stuff for me. Now, again, with a source block underneath. Water source block, that is. And I'm probably right underneath my animal farm, so I should probably do something about all that noise that I'm getting. But there we go. And then these two. And these 2 thermopiles should now be generating the best amount of electricity they possibly can, so that should be cool. Now, in order to get my blue trick power out of these guys, I need to run some wires, so I'm going to run them off the top here, as you can see, like that. And then I'm going to zoop it around to this side and connect it on this side of the battery box, and it should start getting some power, I would think. Maybe. Looks like it is. Cool, I think. We'll start to see this arrow light up if that's the case, or we'll just see more energy flowing into the thing. I'll leave this battery in here. No, empty it out. Sorry. And we'll see what happens in a few minutes. But hopefully these guys are generating power for me. I expect they should be. Then onto the frames again. So this frame motor here is going to move any frames or items attached to it. And the way it works is you simply need to supply it a redstone signal. So let's get ourselves a few levers. We're going to need a few of these for our testing purposes. But let's place one down like this. Boom. Ta-da! We just moved a block down. How cool is that? Now the way these frames work is you want to have the frame block down, like so, and they'll move any block on any side of the frame. But by covering it with these stone panels, it means they won't move the blocks attached to the stone panel side. Basically, the stone panel is getting moved instead of any blocks next to it. So while this frame would move all blocks around it, these frames aren't moving anything. They're just sitting there, you know, doing their thing. And I don't have stone panels on the top, which is why my brain in a jar and my Q block moved. So if we were to flip this lever again, it moved down further. How neat, huh? Now it's just a matter of getting it back up. So let's do this. Something like that should work. And we should see our frame motor turn blue there, indicating it's getting power. Looks good. Now it's probably facing downwards right now, and I just know that just because I've been playing with frames for a bit. So if I click it twice, it should reorient to the upwards position. And now let's try this lever. Ta-da! Back up to where it belongs. Good job, frame motor. Love you. Alright, next I want to be able to have my enchantment table here. So let's get that ready. Oh, and you guys can see this white arrow here on the battery box indicating my thermopiles are generating enough juice. Awesome. So let's get this thing back down here. Alright, it's not going to move anymore because there's some stuff underneath the floor. So, we've got it nice down where we want it to be. Now, the best way that I think we should move this stuff over is simply by having, let's place some blocks here temporarily. And I'm going to place down my Thaumic Enchanter where I want my little spot to be. So how cool is that, huh? But maybe I want him to be facing this direction. Yeah, I think we want him to look like, you know, hey, we're here. How's it going? I guess it reorients, so it's not a big deal. Alright, and then I need a couple of those Vise conduits, because Thaumic Enchanters require some Vise conduits, remember? And that's why I'm moving my brain in the jar, because I want to have, with my Vise conduits here, just a little thing like this. And I should probably not be doing this. Well, yeah, it's fine that I did it as it was here. What I want to put down now, let's move it up one lever, just so we can work on it a little bit. There we go. I'm going to place down some frames. How do I want to do this? Let me think for a minute. No, you know what? I think I was fine. So I'm going to go with my Thaumic Enchanter again, and then a couple of Vise conduits, like here and here, right? So the concept is that when we move this block up, we should be sitting pretty, everything's good. And I'm going to place a stone cover on top here, and this is more for aesthetic purposes than anything. So when this thing moves up, we have a brain in a jar here, and we have the Q block in the middle of the room, like it was. And when this gets moved up, we have some Vise conduits pointing out the back side there. Now, in order to move these guys properly, I'm going to need some more support frames. So what I'm going to do is place one here, and that's going to be my first problem, because now my support frame is touching my frame motor, and there's no good way to fix that short of breaking my frame motor. And placing, if I dig down just a block, a nice cover like so. There we go. And I'm going to move it all around, make sure it's covered on all sides, except the side that I want to move, which is this one. Then I can place down my frame motor again. And remember, just from experience, I know that it always kind of points downwards at first, and if I shift-click it, I want the face that has nothing on it. That's the back. So now we're good. We should be back to where we were a moment ago. I'm going to run some frames all around the outer edges here, kind of like this. Cool. And I'm going to cover everything with these blocks again, because the only thing I want these frames to move are going to be these blocks in the center. So the best way to do that, to make sure nothing else is getting moved, is to cover everything with covers. This way it won't affect any blocks on any other sides, except what's in the middle here. And that's pretty important, trust me on that. Because once you accidentally start moving stuff, you're going to hate yourself. Because it makes a big old mess. And then finally a few of these guys. There we go. And I'm pretty sure this cobblestone I put here just temporarily, so that can go away. I I did do a build similar to this in my test world because I just wanted to like get it straight before I filmed it. And believe me, I spent many a time making mistakes in my test world, so be glad that I did. Okay. Looking good so far. And then finally, why don't I close my portal here? I'm probably going to have to dig back a little bit deeper than I'm at. So I'll be back in a second once I clear out some more terrain. Okay, now I need to place some frame motors right here and here. And the only reason I know exactly what I'm doing, like I said, is because I did this in my test world. But I want one facing this direction, so that was 3 clicks. And then one facing this direction, so that's 1 click. So let's do that. And I want them right down here. So this guy, and he's not facing the direction I want him to be. It's kind of hard to see exactly what you're doing, but let's see if I can get this. 1, 2. And this one needed 1, 2, 3, and this just needs 1. And then I need some power running them. And let's see, blue alloy wiring. That should work. Well, no, I don't like that one being there. I want them here. Cool. And these guys should get all the juice they need now. And again, temporarily, I'm going to place some levers on top. And now I just need to do this and that. They both turned on, meaning they're working. So if I want to shift this guy this direction, I think I just do this. Nope, something's in the way. Or not working. What am I doing wrong here? Give me a second to see if I can't figure that out. Oh wait, maybe this is in the way? That shouldn't be it. So you'll move that way, alright. Which is fine. But now will you move this way? No. What's wrong with you? Alright, give me a minute to think and I'll be right back. Oh, something with the Q block. Huh. Alright, I'll be right back. Hey, there was my problem. I had a little cover sitting right here, and I just knocked it off. Didn't mean to have that there. So let me fix this up by moving my Q block out of the way. I should be able to push this guy this way now. Replace my Q block, like so. Put the books back in it the way they belong. And let's try this a little bit now. So if I hit this direction once, hey, look at that. Not too shabby, huh? And now I should be able to send it up. So which way was up again? This one, I think. Cool. And up we go. Like I said, should have brought ladders. But now we've got this whole little frame system in place. And I'm going to have a conduit along the back here that kind of leads off to my V's production line or something along those lines. But for now, we're in pretty good shape. Let me get out of this mess that I got myself into by falling. So where's my... There we go. It needs to go up there. So this is where my conduit's going to be that connects out the back, and it'll send off that direction, and I'll hook it up eventually to my V's line. But for now, we're cool. So again, let's try this and switch it back. So right now, if we're watching, and just imagine that I cover this floor up, we have the enchantment table with its conduit to V's, because the enchantment table requires V's to do its enchanting, and it's getting boosted by all the brains and whatnot around it. Neat. And then I just drop down here, get these cobble out of the way, which I'm using as temporary stairs. Bring it down a couple blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Swap it over 1 block. And then up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And now we got the Q block back. And the extra brain, by the way. Because remember, I'm replacing a brain in a jar with a conduit, a V's conduit there. How neat is that, huh? So now, let's clean up the flooring and do a little work to make it look nice. Okay, and here's how it looks like if all the blocks are covered up. So it's looking pretty solid. There's a little work to clean up behind the brains there, but not a big deal. But for now, I want to get back down here and work on automating the moving. So right now I'm pushing these levers like, 4 times to go up and down each, and then once to go left or right. We're going to have to change that up. I definitely can't leave it like that, right? No, absolutely not. So why don't I go get some nifty little devices to help me automate this just a little bit. Unfortunately, guys, it looks like we've hit that little wrapping up point here. So I'm going to have to cut the video here, and you guys are going to have to wait till the next episode where I automate this whole thing with logic gates and the simple press of a button to swap the 2 blocks back and forth. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 23 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and catch me next time where I finish up this system. Take it easy.